everyone, I'm Pat Cosentino, Superintendent of Region 12, and I'm here today with Todd Dyer, who is the Director of Guidance for Shepaug High School, and the Principal, Mrs. Kim Gallo, who is the Principal of Shepaug High School. And we're here in the middle of April 2013 to talk about progress so far on our schedule. We've been working very hard with Power School and kids registering and getting parents and students on the same page, teachers comfortable, and we just figured we'd give everyone out there a little summary of where we are and the progress thus far. So Kim, why don't you start and just talk about what you've been doing and, you know, what's going on with the schedule.
Okay, it's been a very exciting time, and as you know, there's a lot of things going on other than schedule, with moving toward Common Core, with the marrying of the two schedules so that the middle and the high school schedules are planned alike. Mm-hmm. Basically what we continue to say on our staffs are, we're blowing up the schedule, so let's blow it up. Right. Think about the things that you've thought about over the last few years that you'd like to take a look at. Now's the time to do that. So at the middle school, Mrs. DeBrito and her staff surveyed all of the students, and that's how we came up with our offerings for our middle school students, by what they want and by what they're interested in. We also were able to craft a schedule that allows them to take music in the ways that fit in their lives musically as well as in the schedule, right, rather than trying to retrofit every student into a music plan. Why not have them take off in directions that they're interested in?
Exactly.
Which is a terrific thing. At the high school, the humanities department was the first to pick up our challenge to say what classes need more time than the 57 minutes that they will be next year. Mm-hmm. So they have linked the English and social studies courses and also realigned humanities with the Common Core. Right. Our students will be looking at rhetorical speeches, at many different things that are more aligned with Common Core standards as they meet with their English and social studies teacher together, which is just a terrific way to present that level of their education. And our elective programs have also begun to look at their piece in the big picture. Right. So that we are not offering simply a menu of choose this one, choose this one, choose this one, but asking kids to look deeply at where they are in their education and what would they like to explore. Sure, sure.
Which is the pathway model from the Connecticut State Department.
That's exactly right.
Looking at, you know, how you can take maybe a string of courses mm-hmm. based on interest.
All based on secondary school redesign.
Right.
And we have a link to that Connecticut plan on our website, in our guidebook, and also on our Twitter.
Yes, you do tweet, absolutely.
Yes, we do.
Okay, great. So Todd, why don't you talk about the new schedule and the changes based on students' perspective and parents and family perspectives?
Yeah. You know, I think a lot of people are really excited as we move from the current student information system, Redeker, to Power School, with the opportunity to be more interactive wherever you are. Right. With being internet-based, both students and families can really see what's going on with their schedule. They can look forward as they plan for their graduation with the graduation planner. They can see their progress and sort of track how their students doing, and students mm-hmm. can track their own progress. You know, I'm excited to watch the technology aspects of it as we've gone this year from a Google document where they were able to choose their classes online to next year as they'll be working through Power School right. in that course selection process. And I think it's really going to allow parents and students a much closer relationship with the schedule, knowing where they are in terms of their progress with their credits, how they're doing, and how those match up with colleges right. as they're thinking about their futures. So I think it really is an exciting future for the students and families at Shepaug.
Good, excellent. Can we talk a little bit about some of the electives? Because I know we do have some new electives, including virtual high school, which falls under the elective category. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So whoever would like to speak first.
Well, I know Todd has let me know that more than 60 of our students have expressed some level of interest in virtual high school.
Right.
Now, this doesn't mean that we'll have 60 kids taking those courses
Exactly.
by any means. However, what it says to me, and it says in a very positive way, is that we do have interest in this form of education.
Absolutely.
Virtual high school will be made possible for 25 of our students through the work of our teacher Heidi Adele. She is going to teach virtual high school German.
Right.
The odds of we at Shepaug being able to offer our students German in a traditional setting are slim and none.
Right, right.
So we're very excited about being able to actually become a world languages department.
Sure.
And so that's one thing that we can immediately talk about.
And let me just add, because she is teaching online the virtual high school German course, we get 20 free seats first semester and second semester. So that's 40 seats that come with the registration process, which is fabulous.
Right.
Fabulous.
It just gives us a great start.
Yeah.
So out of those 60 students, they will look at a huge menu of courses, and,
Right.
and Todd can speak more specifically to that, but then start matching them with their educational goals and with their interests. Again, things that they may like to explore.
Absolutely.
Right. And I think as we move forward, you know, all the teachers are looking at how can we offer the richest curriculum that we can, that is the most relevant to students in the future. And one of the things that I know in the science area especially that they were looking at, what are those courses that students really want that are going to connect to where they're going. And one of those areas that was identified was computer science. And as we looked at next year's schedule, you know, that was one of the courses that students really were excited about. And we saw quite a few enrollments in that area. I think one of the other ones is our elected offerings for preference, and I was really impressed with the way the physical education department looked at students, went out to survey, and then came back with courses that really match up with student interests. So they're going to be doing more of a team focus, some outdoor adventure experiences, and also individual sports. So I really think the staff has been very sensitive to what students want and what's going to match up with them in their futures. So I'm excited to see.
Yeah, it's wonderful. One of the things I'd like to mention too, that's a real positive for me as a superintendent, is the additional planning time and time for teachers to meet in professional learning communities. So that's really important. You want to talk about that, Kim?
Absolutely. For next year, and our faculty may learn this through video rather than through a faculty meeting first. However, each year the faculty reads a book together, and we use that to inform some of our faculty meeting discussions and obviously to inform instruction. Our book for next year will be the Do For book on professional learning communities at work. And our instructional leaders, we've purchased a workbook from Do For that brings you from the initial, they call it forming, norming, and storming, where people start to look at what does a professional learning community look like, what are the protocols that we all need to respect and keep in our minds every day, and then how do we start setting goals for these learning communities. It's much more than just sitting over a cup of coffee and asking how your day is. You know, it's a part of a master plan. So this faculty is going to be very much engaged in professional discourse and reading about this process in a very, very short amount of time.
Absolutely. And it really, those conversations are going to be based on student data. Okay, so whether it's you know, state assessments or whether it's assessments given in class, looking at student work, all of those things, so that you can really see this is what we're doing, this is the kids' work, you know, how do we incrementally make it better.
That's right.
It's always about continuous improvement. The other thing that the schedule is going to offer is more time for interventions for kids. So Todd, why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I'm really excited for the opportunity, the new schedule, to be able to give students directed help for those areas that they're struggling with. Targeted interventions that will be time sensitive to students as they're having an area of difficulty with specific content, and then help directly towards that, and then they can really move forward in progress. So I think the new schedule is going to give that opportunity that doesn't happen in our current schedule. So
Sure.
I'm excited to see that and how it's going to be a direct benefit for our students.
Yeah, I think it's really going to be very beneficial. And I think, you know, as I try to lead the district, one of the things that I think is not only 6-12, but pre-K-12, and that we really have to start to look at that vertical alignment of curriculum.
Absolutely.
And what we do, just for example, in the pupil services department, our counselors, our psychologists, all of those people who deal with kids on different levels, and are we providing them with the professional development they need,
Right.
and addressing, you know, what's important in their areas of expertise. So do you want to just talk
Sure,
about
and
that
I
a
think
little
it's a
bit?
team approach. You know, as I look at the pre-K-12 services, especially as we're looking at a service model, you know, I think we want to work as a community to really bring our students along in those areas of character, of relationships. How do we treat each other with respect? And I think it's going to be a team approach.
Right.
And I really think counseling services, as we look at those over the pre-K-12 continuum, is going to have a huge impact point.
Sure.
But it's going to be working hand in hand with classroom teachers also.
Absolutely.
Everyone working together to really get kids to understand what's important and how can they grow up to be productive members of our society.
Absolutely.
I'm really excited for that piece.
So can we just talk about the future steps so that if people see this in the next 2 weeks, what can they expect in the middle high school? When will they get schedules, or just anything that you can give people, you know, an idea of how we're handling it from this point on?
So I think one of our big next steps is finalizing the schedule. We're in that process now, and we're also transitioning, you know, not only a student service, information service program, but also reconfiguring a 6-12 school.
Sure.
And so that process is moving forward. We're looking to get information out to families directly about their student's choice and more information about what is happening in the school.
Sure.
And I know that we have an upcoming assembly.
Yes.
We do. We have a parent orientation night for our mostly targeted to our 5th, 6th, and 7th grade
Sure.
parents that Mrs. DeBrito and I will be
I
co-leading
believe that's
along with
April
the counseling.
30th.
It's
Yes.
April 30th. Is it a Thursday night?
Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Yes.
Thank you. Glad you said
I
that.
think it's the 23rd.
Yeah.
Oh, you think it's the 23rd?
It's the 30th.
It's definitely the 30th because I know I can't be there.
Yeah, all right.
So it's
Great.
definitely the
It
30th.
is
Okay.
on April 30th, and our goal for that evening will be to let parents know a little bit about what the big school looks like,
Sure.
and more importantly, what it'll look like for their child.
Exactly.
How do we fit their children into the secondary school reform plan? What does that do for their college and career readiness? And the fact that everything that we do from 6th grade through 12th, and obviously from pre-K through 5 as well, is leading up to those big goals that we have for all students to know and be able to do.
Sure, absolutely. So I think, you know, I'm really pleased with all the work that has gone into this. I know that there was a little, you know, anxiety about the change, and change does that to people,
Change
as
does,
you know.
Right? Change does.
But I do believe that we're in a really great place, and I mean, next year we're going to be in a better place. And these changes don't really reflect that we were doing things wrong. It's just that now we're going to make some changes so we can do things a little better and make continuous improvement.
Well, we're adapting to a very rapidly changing student population.
Exactly.
And
Educational
shrink,
reforms.
Absolutely. As we shrink, we have to do things differently,
Absolutely.
or we simply won't be able to do as much as we currently do.
Exactly.
And I'm really excited. You know, I think in this school system, you know, we have the opportunity to work with our kids in a way that a lot of other schools don't.
Right.
You know, as I talk to other educational leaders from around the state, you know, we have everyone in the 6-12 environment on site.
Sure.
And we're really going to
Absolutely.
have access to those students from when they walk in the door at 6th grade until
Right.
when they leave us in 12th grade.
Exactly.
And access to each other for planning.
Yep.
That's right.
So my goal is by the time my second granddaughter is born on June 27th,
She had to get that in here, just so you know. Okay.
pretty smooth.
Yes.
By that time, everyone will feel a lot better about
Yes.
having a good picture about what
Absolutely.
this school will look like.
Absolutely.
Whether it be a teacher, an administrator, or
Right.
most importantly, students and parents.
Absolutely. So, and as Mrs. Gallo just said, we are going to be making decisions about staff, instructional leaders, administrators, etc. right after the budget passes. We wanted to make sure that that happens. Don't worry, everything's going to be fine, everybody, but we just have to be cognizant of everyone and try to move in a good, proactive way. So, anything else?
Yeah.
I think we're doing great, and I got that plug-in about my granddaughter.
There you go.
I think we're good.
Yes. Do you want to get a plug-in about your son also while we're on?
My two sons
Yes.
are right now making their way from Camp Pendleton in California to Connecticut because I am now the proud mother of two former Marines. Corporal Gallo is done as of Tuesday. They visited the Grand Canyon yesterday. They send me goofy text messages, and it doesn't get much better than this.
There you go. Excellent. Would you like to speak about your children at all?
I had a great check-in with my daughter yesterday. She's a fourth grader.
Excellent.
And one of the things I really am looking forward to hearing more about both in our district and I'm already seeing in education is that movement to the Common Core and using data to inform instruction.
Absolutely.
It was a 20-minute conference with her teacher in fourth grade, and throughout that 20 minutes it was all data that was benchmarked within their school system.
Exactly.
And I really am looking forward to us using that data in a more direct manner to inform our instruction.
I think you may have mentioned that she's quite advanced.
Yeah. She's doing very well.
There you go.
Well.
Excellent. Well, with that said, we'll wrap it up. I hope that you all out there keep watching our TV shows and watching them whether on YouTube or Charter, because we're really trying to give you as much information as we can as we work through all of these changes and the educational reforms. This is Pat Cosentino saying goodbye and keep watching our shows. Thank you.
Thank you.